the way it went, easier, tougher to flush down the toilet?
Well, win or lose, we have to kind of move on, and that was a tough game. I thought we had a very good week of practice, and we didn't start out very well, and then it was tough to kind of get back in it. So I think everyone was rattled a little bit from that, the way that thing came out of there, but we have to move on. We got a big game this week, a short week, and so we've got to correct the mistakes and put a plan together and get going.
I asked Mike after the game if there were any positives, and he said, I can't think of any. After watching the film, what do you come out of that?
Well, you can try to put a positive spin on that kind of day. I thought we hit some runs. There wasn't a whole lot, really. I think if you look at we weren't as physical as we needed to be in the run game or the passing game. I thought they really did a nice job of being physical on the receivers and made it hard. But we've got to win some one-on-one matchups and get ourselves open and then throw accurate throws and protect the quarterback. Things that we say every week. It will be important in this game too.
Do you feel like you guys saw the emotion and the fight necessary from the outset of that game? Because it seemed like Washington had everything, and then you guys just were flat.
Whether it's a pep talk or a motivational speech, I think there's a lot of questions that we're asking ourselves as coaches. Just how do we get them up and ready to play a little bit better? And I think we've had some tough games against good teams, that one included, and we've got to show up. I think we've competed hard up to that point in every game, and I wouldn't say we weren't competing at all, but it just felt like we kind of got the air out of our sails a little bit early in that game and didn't respond very well. And whether that's a fiery speech or better preparation during the week, all those things are necessary. So we got to find some answers and get them ready to play.
You talked about winning one-on-one matchups. Obviously people were honing in on what's happened with Sean over the past 3 weeks, but how much of that goes back to receivers outside of Brandon not being able to get open and not hitting routes hard or what have you?
I think with more of the focus on Brandon lately, we had gone quite a long time and teams kind of let him have his way. That's where he got a lot of the big numbers. We still got him 10 balls, which is good, but we do have to rely on some other guys making some plays. We've got to get open and beat man coverage and create some separation on a defender and create a throwing lane for Sean to work. And that's important to our passing game. That could be said every week, anytime we're in man coverage, and when we see zone coverages, we got to find the holes to create some open plays.
Coming off of 4 straight losses, heading into the Civil War, is this game, and you grew up in the state, is this game bigger than a bowl game?
You can say that, and we try to prepare and work in that 1 week vacuum, and Coach Riley talks about it all the time. So if we prepare a lot differently for this game than we did, a couple weeks ago, that would be cheating the other game. So we try to do a great job of giving the players a good plan, work hard on executing it all week, and then show up on Friday or Saturday night, and that'll be important this week again. It's big for the kids that grew up here just because they know the state and how divided it is between Ducks and Beavers, and you like to think that there's some pride there within the state, but it would be an injustice for us to prepare differently just for this game than the other ones that we've had already. But it's a rivalry game. Those always get a little more attention, and with the way our seasons have gone and the fact that Oregon's been highly rated and ranked, and then them to take a hit like they did last week, we're both kind of trying to find some answers and correct some mistakes and get ready to play.
The challenge of their defense, everybody talks about their offense, but that unit has been consistent for the most part.
They've got great defensive speed. They give you a lot of different looks. They're in that 3-4 defense that they can kind of pressure from any area at any time. They do a nice job in disguising coverages, and with their ability to cover at corner, they can do a lot of things inside and still hang in there on the outside. So we've got to continue to get into a game and be able to beat some man coverage and win some one-on-ones, and that goes for the line too. They've got to win the one-on-one matchups up front, whether it's a run play or pass protection, and then we've got to create some throws in the passing game by winning against the press and against man coverage.
Now, I know you're on the other side of the field when the scout teams are working, but you're the quarterback's coach as well. And Kyle Kemp has the job of trying to mirror Marcus Mariota. How's he doing?
I haven't seen it yet, being the first day. I think it's hard to completely mirror what he can do. He is quite a talented player. He's a Heisman candidate. He can run, he can throw. So we got to do our best job. It's like playing against our scout team and simulating the ability of their corners. That's their starting corners on a Pac-12 team, and we're going to have some freshmen on the scout team playing, and they got to do their best to simulate the looks we'll get. And so for Kyle, same thing. He's got to do his best to throwing accurately and running some of the zone read and putting some pressure on the defense.
Have you thought about how maybe the irony or the coincidence that his brother, also played for them, and now he's trying to, he's got to mirror a quarterback?
Yeah, I think that probably all the way back to when we recruited him, and the fact that he was a Duck, and now he's in the coaching ranks, and it is somewhat ironic that we've got a brother of a Duck, and that they chose different ways, but we're glad we have him, and he's on our side.
You mentioned the wind getting let out of your sails early in Saturday's game. Was it harder to come back to it with so many fans leaving?
I don't think that has much to do with it. I think if you're relying on fans to motivate you, you're going to always struggle on the road because they're all going to be against you. And if there's not many here, we've got to continue to play and get back into it. I think more of the wind out of our sails was due to our lack of execution, and we needed to get some first downs early. We had a couple 3-and-outs to start the game, and then dug ourselves a hole. And now you're playing from behind, and your game plan changes, and you have to throw the ball more. You're playing instead of with the lead and being able to run your stuff. You're kind of trying to scramble a little bit and get back in it. So it definitely changes you, but I don't think that we love the fan support and as many people as we can at every game that are rooting for the Beavers. But if we have to rely on that just for motivation, we'll have a tough time on the road.